What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about K-pop? The songs? The performances? Or maybe it's the beautiful and handsome faces these idols have. I'm pretty sure you've seen several idols get their glow-ups after their debut. And many of you probably wonder, when am I going to get my glow-up? So how do they do it? And how do some idols suddenly rise to fame? Hi everyone, and welcome back to Midnight Theories. And if you're new here, welcome to Midnight Theories. Forget everything you thought you knew about K-pop. Welcome to your new home for all K-pop related theories, urban legends, and news. If you thought you knew everything about K-pop, think again, because everything you see behind the glitz and glamour is the dark side of K-pop. When idols pass the audition, they are given a chance to sign a contract with the company. These contracts are commonly referred to as slave contracts. In the contract, there are terms that the signee needs to follow through his or her trainee period and even after debut. They are told what to do, what to eat, when to date, how to behave, and more. Some may even need to go through plastic surgery in order to have the visuals the company prefers.
정말 맞아요?
Although these contracts used to last over a decade, thanks to South Korea's Fair Trade Commission, the contract length is limited to 7 years and has made it more difficult for companies to force idols to renew their contracts. Ever since then, you rarely hear about these slave contracts. However, there are darker things that happen behind these contracts. Exploiting the trainees' dreams of debuting, some people in the entertainment industry use that for their own needs. One of the most well-known examples of this is Open World Entertainment's case. Open World Entertainment CEO Chung Suk-woo was arrested in 2012 for raping several female trainees and coercing male idols to these trainees as well. One ex-girl group trainee said that, at the audition, the CEO told me to do a seductive dance to him. I thought he wanted to see what kind of talent I had, but it was weird. We were in a closed room and all. When I was done dancing, he told me to sit down. He made me put my legs on top of his, and he told me to express what I was feeling at the moment. It was also confirmed that the use of aphrodisiac substance or stimulants that would increase desire was involved in the abuse. To make everything worse, when Open World Entertainment issued a statement of apology to the public, there was nothing about the victims or the abuse that they had suffered. Chung was using his power and influence to force such lewd acts on the female trainees. Many of them gave up their dreams of becoming a singer because of this incident. Several sponsorships also take place for smaller companies that lack the funds to support the group. However, not all these sponsorships are clean. There have been cases where the investors or sponsors send a member, promising him or her the funds and success of the group. If these trainees and idols refuse, the sponsor would threaten to destroy their future plans. A current K-pop idol trainer revealed this horror story. He said that a former student trainee of his was chosen to be the so-called sacrifice to the sponsor. She was underage. The producer said he wasn't there to do charity work for small agencies like theirs. The producer would then inappropriately touch the former student and pressure her into thinking that he could bring her and her group to success. She worked hard and she was close to debuting, but because of this obscene act, she gave it all up. It's hard for many trainees and even current idols to say no to such sponsors because it's not only about them. Their team is on the line too. Many are told that as long as they endure this, then eventually it would work out. As a young rookie, wouldn't that be hard to say no to? A big part of K-pop is fan culture. However, there are some people who take this a step too far and harass these idols through various methods. Although the term sasaeng was coined later, the obsessive fan behavior started in the 1990s with the first generation idols such as H.O.T. and G.O.D. From lacing drinks with drugs to figuring out the idol's phone number and addresses, let's look at some examples of this disruptive behavior. The most common example would be sasaengs figuring out idols' phone numbers. In a recent V-Live, BTS member Jungkook held a solo V-Live where he talked with fans while drinking a glass of wine. During the stream, Jungkook received a call on his phone and said that, "If this is a call from a fan, if I am doing a live and you call to make sure, then I immediately block the call. I actually get a lot of calls from Sasaeng fans." While there are many cases like this, there's one case that could have tremendously hurt this idol's career. During a live broadcast, EXO's Baekhyun revealed a phone number he believed to belong to a Sasaeng. However, it seemed to have belonged to an innocent citizen. Netizens complained of Baekhyun being careless, and he had to publicly apologize for his actions. This incident, however, took a wild turn when a Twitter account, Rose, came forward and claimed to be the Sasaeng behind the phone calls. The user confirmed that the phone number that was revealed belonged to them, and pretending that his or her family was the victim of Baekhyun's action. The person wrote the statement that, "When Baekhyun disclosed the phone number during the broadcast, I tweeted that my family member is receiving a lot of phone calls. I requested to not call my family. I received DMs that asked how my family would be a victim when the number did belong to me and I called him. I was lying about that. I apologize. For a while, I've been making and deleting accounts as needed. The Rose account is one of them. I've been using this account to tweet like nothing is wrong." EXO-Ls were furious with the so-called fan as it damaged Baekhyun's reputation and he received much hate and criticism. Another example would take place at the airport. While it's publicly announced when the idols will be at the airport, it is not common knowledge which plane they will take. However, there are some Sasaengs that will go through various methods to purchase a plane ticket for the same plane that the idols will take. There are several cases of Sasaengs trying to get their signature and even uploading pictures of idols sleeping on the plane. In one case, a flight from Hong Kong to Seoul was forced to deplane all of its passengers because one Sasaeng got on the plane and surrounded the members, carrying posters of the group. The cabin crew asked the fans to take their seats. However, they had other ideas in mind. They said they didn't want to fly to Seoul and demanded they be allowed off the aircraft. However, this would mean that all the passengers would have to disembark with their luggage and go through security screening once again to avoid aviation laws. This caused a huge delay. Not caring about that, the Sasaengs demanded a refund, which they are fully entitled to. And it doesn't stop here. There are various cases of Sasaengs installing cameras and mics into the dolls that they give idols in order to film and record everything that happens within the idols' houses. They follow idols around out on the street, giving them no freedom and privacy to do whatever they want. Many idols have even got hurt from car accidents trying to evade Sasaengs following in cars. When asked, why do they do this? One Sasaeng who was interviewed said, "I feel like I get to know more about and get closer to the idol I love. If I go to a concert, there are thousands of people attending, so the idol would not know who I am. But if I become a Sasaeng, they will recognize me. And if I keep telling them, I am so-and-so, I saw you at the place before, they will start to take note of me and ask me, did you come again today?" To Sasaeng fans, being recognized by an idol is a good thing. Now to end this video, let's turn the darkness down a notch. As fans are a big thing in K-pop, it's hard to ignore the numerous fan wars that happen between fans of different groups. Fan wars have been around since the first generation groups. In fact, before technology and the internet was developed as it is today, many fans had physical fights where the police had to be called, sometimes to break it up. If you watched the Korean drama Reply 1997, you might remember the scene between the HOT fans and the Zetsuki fans. In the pouring rain, you could see the yellow from the Zetsuki fans and the white from the HOT fans clashing with each other, only to be stopped by a staff telling them to come into the concert hall. Since it's from a drama, many may believe it's a fake incident, but it truly did happen. And now as technology has improved, many fan wars take place on social media. Fans are constantly comparing their favorites to other groups, saying that their favorites are the best, whether it be based on talent or even visuals. The constant degradation of others leads to constant appearance of fan wars. Sometimes, the fan wars get so intense, it leads to fans trying to create a black ocean during concerts. A black ocean is when the audience turns their light sticks off as a show of lack of support to the current groups on stage. A well-known black ocean that happened was in 2008 between SNSD fans and other fandoms. Before the concert took place, the fandom made a plan to boycott SNSD because of the closeness between SNSD and Famous Idols. During SNSD 10-minute performance, the only light scenes was from Sowon's. All fandoms were silent, with some people shouting for other groups. Many of SNSD members were seen with tears in their eyes while they were performing.
아무도 안 온 것처럼 보이죠. 수도 없고 환호도 없고 이제 깜깜한 객석을 보면서 무대를 했는데 나중에 보니까
On the surface, K-pop may seem very intriguing and pretty, but once you get to know what's behind this mask, it may change your perspective on this industry. But don't let that stop you from supporting your favorites or getting into K-pop. Idols need the support of fans in order to continue doing what they love. As long as you don't cross the line between support and obsession, and don't hate on others. We may have only scraped the surface on this topic, so if you want us to dive deeper into this topic, like the video and drop a comment. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also comment below on any K-pop theories or urban legends you'd like us to cover in the next video. Thanks for watching and enjoy your stay. Thanks for watching and enjoy your stay.